This is a painting I did of Neil Young. Neil Young, of course, his nickname was Shaky, and Neil is one of my favorite old singers from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and he's still putting out music now, so hats off to Neil. And over here, the next painting over on your right, my left, I guess. I was thinking about that the other day. Your right is my left. Okay, this is a painting that I spent a long time on. This is a part of Lake Calhoun, which would be see the north side of the lake, near Lake Street, and this painting began, I think, in 2010. And I finished it in 2012, so it was worked on off and on over a 2 or 3 year period. There used to be a girl on a bike here, kind of riding off into the sunset. Or no, I guess the sunset's over there, but she was riding somewhere. So anyway, yeah, this painting I've had displayed at International Market Square, and a lot of interest in it. So anyway, I spent a lot of time on Lake Calhoun. It's one of the most beautiful places, I think, in the Minneapolis area go to. I know a lot of people at Lake area, Lake Minneapolis, will get mad at me if I say that. Anyway, this is Lady Gaga, or some kind of image kind of similar to Lady Gaga that I'm not really trying to be exact with these portraits, more or less, more of spirit of the artist. This one I think really captured her. One of her blonde wigs. I don't know which one she's got on, but she likes to wear a lot of wigs. I know that. And it's something called Magenta Gaga, or Gaga Magenta, I guess you call it. And then over here we got Carlos Santana. This painting has been reworked, and quite an abstract painting behind the musician here, a lot of color, and that came about 2 years after the original was completed. So Carlos is still putting out music, still a great musician. I saw him last summer. It's great to see live. Puts on a great show. Let's see here, where are we going next here? Oh, this is a St. Paul piece. So this is a commission piece that I worked on for a gentleman who lives in East St. Paul. And this painting was done this year in July when it was real hot out. I think it was about almost as hot as it is the last few days here. Not quite, maybe, but anyway, yeah, this is up on the east side on the hill there, the Dayton Hill they call it. The Dayton house is up there. And this painting took about, approximately a week and a half. So it was a lot of work. But anyway, yeah, I'm happy with the turnout. This one's got kind of a light feel to it, kind of easy, a lot of color, and a lot of paint. This next painting here is Streets of Stillwater. This was completed in 2007 or 8, I think. I had an art show at a coffee shop in Stillwater in 2007. This painting I really like is that the perception of it is that it's you're kind of looking down. It almost looks like you're way up in the sky looking down at this car here going, of course this car is going to Wisconsin, and that's, we got to feel sorry for these people in this car because they're headed to Wisconsin. But actually, I used to tell people as a joke, this is actually two nuns and they're headed to Wisconsin to get beer because it's Sunday and you can't buy beer in Minnesota on Sunday. So, but anyway, yeah, this is the Old Quality Drugstore, which is now a Dairy Queen, which is kind of sad for Stillwater. But they've allowed a Dairy Queen in the middle of their historic downtown. But they used to have rules against developing that kind of thing in the downtown area, but they've changed, I guess. This is the Quality Drug Store. This was a family-owned drug store. This painting was done after the original, and this painting is, of course, this is now Dairy Queen, but this was a drugstore until I think 2007, and that was bought from the Quality family. The owner retired. But again, they've completely defaced this and exposed it. Now it's all the old brick pillars showing here, so it's a completely different look if you go to Stillwater. This next one here is Slash. This is a work in progress. It's not really finished, but it's getting close. So Slash, of course, used to play with Guns N' Roses. He just played at the in Walker this summer at the Moon Dance Jam with his band. I think basically all it is a Guns N' Roses cover band. They don't really do that much new material. This next painting is Clarence Clemens. Clarence Clemens was a saxophone player for Bruce Springsteen. Of course, Bruce still performing, one of the greatest rock performers probably you'll ever see in your life. If you ever get a chance to see him, he's still high energy, even in his age. I think he's in his 60s now, but yeah, great show. I just saw him in St. Paul recently. Now, Clarence passed away in, I think 2 years ago, would have been in August. But great sax player, and the interesting story behind them, how they met, and if you ever get a chance to read about that, it's interesting. Then next painting over is Keith Richards. This painting was done, I think, around 2008, or yeah, in the winter of 2008. Of course, Keith is still rocking, and the Stones have been touring this summer here and there. They were just in Chicago, and of course, Keith is the guy that Johnny Depp developed his pirate character for the Pirates of the Caribbean series. So I guess Keith is an old pirate. I don't know, at heart. Okay, this painting over here is the one I did in the Badlands. This is was done. I was in Sturgis, and 2 years ago, well, actually almost 3 years ago now, and this painting was just done in the Badlands on the one of the vistas they have there of the sunset. I actually wanted to stay and work another day on it, but sometimes you don't have time. I won't, you know, I don't like to work with photographs, so I'm really happy with the painting, but it's kind of raw, in a raw state. This painting down below here, this is a portrait. This is the one that's self-demanded, I believe, in the show. So, but this was actually a girl that I painted on Lake Calhoun one day, and then she was upset that I didn't give her the painting, so she was kind of moody. She was kind of, so you can kind of see she's a little moody there. I think we got to go over here. We kind of go in the wrong direction here because we've got to go. Okay, here are we okay with the time? Mm-hmm. This is John Lennon. This painting is entitled Peace Soldier. This is kind of about all the gun stuff going on recently with the NRA. I resurrected John because he was always anti-violence and of course, John was murdered with a weapon himself, so kind of ironic, but I thought it was important to paint John again because he was always such an advocate for peace, and we've had all these mass murders here in this country lately with these cases with guns, so I thought it was significant. I did email Yoko that I did this painting, and I actually got an email back from her, so on Facebook I got some kind of, I don't know, probably somebody that works for her on the internet sent me something, so. This painting here is, of course, Jim Morrison, one of the great rock poets of the 60s and 70s. And sad story, you know, we all know that Jim kind of lost his career because he was accused of exposing himself at a concert in Miami, and I guess he's been, they've let that completely go now, and so it's too bad that he took it so hard because it broke up the band and they couldn't tour anymore, and then he moved to France and then he died, so it's a sad thing. This painting here is Sugar Blue. This is signed by Sugar Blue. Sugar Blue was a harmonica player for the Rolling Stones on the Some Girls record. And I met Sugar Blue in St. Paul 2 years ago, and I did this painting in St. Paul when I met Sugar. Sugar's a great performer and writes great music and has his own band to this day. Tours around, does all the blues festivals. This is a new painting here. This is Lake Calhoun from the west side, and it's a real beautiful view there. You can see the sailboats and Calhoun Beach Club and the city in the background. So this painting took quite a while to do because we had bad weather this June, so I was out not too often there with the bad weather. This next painting is this is the Stone Arch Bridge, and this painting was finished last summer. It began in 2010, and of course this is the Guthrie Theater in downtown. The historic mill is here, and this painting took a long time, and it's a great place to go for anybody that hasn't been on the Stone Arch Bridge. There's people getting doing wedding pictures here, and tourists here every night. So if you want to see a really beautiful sunset, there's people down there every night watching the sunset, and a lot of tourism, a lot of tourists on that bridge. That's a historic bridge. People walk and run on here every day, but it was at one time a railroad bridge. This next painting is this is another one of Lake Calhoun from the west side, but closer to Lake Street. This is August Daydream. This one took about 3 weeks to paint, and you can tell there's tons of paint on it. Maybe you want a close up on this one. You can actually see the paint here, how much paint is on there. Yeah, this again took about 3 weeks to paint, and I'm real happy with it. I spend a lot of time there. Yeah, it's a peaceful place in the middle of all the rat race going on up there in the city. A nice place to be in the summer. And see, now we got to go to Dillon here. This is Election Day, Dillon. This painting was completed in Dinkytown in 2008 when Obama got elected. I painted it on the street corner there in Dinkytown. A lot of my paintings are done in the street or outside. I prefer painting outside. And this painting actually was published in Metro Magazine, and I got on the cover of Hibbing Daily for Dillon Days, and I'm a participant in the Dillon Tribute Show, which is put on by Mark Perkansky. And this year we raised $5,000 for Guitar for Vets. And I did our live painting there at the show in July in St. Louis Park. So I am involved with the Bob Dylan tribute, and it's a good cause because it gives a guitar lesson and a free guitar to veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, which we have a lot of now. So anyway, I'm real happy about being involved in that. And then here we have a new Dillon. This one was completed not that long ago, probably back in March. This is more of a 60s Dillon, 66 I think Mark called it. So I titled it Dillon 66. And what can you say about Bob Dylan? He's probably one of the most prolific artists that ever lived. So then down below here we have Janis, of course, Janis Joplin. Janis, of course, a great singer, left too early. Didn't want to hurt herself, but she just got too much drugs one day, and that was all we ever heard of Janis again. But it's too bad because she was a great